was good. Mullaev. So shooting your shot, right? It's a new term. Is it a new term?
I mean, depending on what generation you come from, right?
Because I don't remember, the thing is, I don't remember it being a term when I was like a teenager.
Okay.
Shooting your shot, maybe it was, but knowing the meaning that it means, knowing what it means now, meaning, a person being very brave and going up to.
And again, whatever. It doesn't have to be a relationship. It could be whatever you want.
You're right.
Shoot your shot for success, for your goal, for whatever it is.
Totally. Now I'm fine with that. But no, in regard to dating, or if you like someone, have a crush on someone, whatever. That's the shooting your shot I'm talking about, because when I was a kid, or a teenager rather, I felt crazy about shooting my shot, basically. I didn't want to. I thought that guys should kind of like be the pursuer. And I still think that to a certain extent, right? And I'll tell you why the extent. But back in the day, a teenager, if my crush didn't know that I liked him, nothing happened. Like nothing moved forward. So fast forward today, I don't know how comfortable still I feel with shooting my shot in that way, but I'm not opposed to it. I guess it depends on if I meet someone I like and I see, and I may be like, "How you doing?" Or I don't know if I would ask them out though. I don't know. How you feel about that?
I feel like depending on the vibe of the conversation or the chemistry between the two people, I feel like that conversation might lead into an impulsive, like, you know what? Can I get your number? Maybe we could continue this, or whatever it is. It all depends on how that person makes you comfortable enough to feel safe. Yes. Where you think you're not going to get rejected. Because I think it all falls back to rejection. Women are not too used to that rejection feeling, because men usually come up to us and they ask us out. We're rejecting them, and so it becomes, you know what I mean? Yeah. So like for us, it's like, oh, I'm not gonna get rejected, so I'm not even gonna shoot my shot. So it's just,
I don't like rejection.
Nobody does. Nobody likes that feeling. But I feel like in the midst, like you're saying, in the midst of your conversation, your vibes and chemistry, I feel like you would know, or you would sense a comfortability to try to shoot your shot where you almost feel 80% chance that you're not going to get rejected, because that conversation was so smooth and so flowing. You know what I'm saying?
Now you're talking or speaking from the female's point of view, right?
As a female, yeah.
So why not just wait until he shoots his? Because
I feel like, and I get what you're saying. I feel like men, like my husband, I'm going to use my husband as an example. So men, sometimes the message isn't too clear. And let's be real, women, sometimes we say no and we really mean yes and all that. Sometimes the message isn't really clear. So like my husband, the reason why he didn't shoot his shot to get my number was because there were rumors in the building that I was a lesbian, because I don't know why that spread.
What happened?
Yeah, it's so weird. So that already knocked him down. And then his coworker said, oh, she definitely has to be dating someone. So that already, like all those rumors and comments, all that's kind of messing up and clouding his, judgment if he should shoot his shot. Right. So at this point, and not that I knew any of that information, I had no clue that I was a lesbian, and I had no clue that I was dating someone when I wasn't dating anyone. But like, that'll discourage them.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
A pretty girl, she has to be taken. And so why?
That's so true. I didn't even think about that part, because they might think that you are taken. And it's like, I don't know, she might be. If I ask that question,
I don't want to get rejected.
Is that being too forward, or is it? Yeah. But before we go there, because y'all, I love her love story. Look, it's like I want to get to not yet. But have you ever, when you were a teenager, younger adult, because you were still young. Did you ever? Have you ever? Shot your shot? Is it shot your shot? Shoot your shot? How do you say that in passing?
Back then, shot my shot.
Yeah.
Back then.
Oh.
I want to say no. Back then, I was extremely traditional.
Okay.
You know,
Yes.
a lot of movies, we watch these movies and they really, you know, do things to you, and you have this image and you want it just what you see, and it's not always realistic, I guess, you know, and of course it's Hollywood, like, let's be
Right.
real. But
Yeah.
I was very, I wanted that romance. I wanted a guy to pick me up. I paid more attention to guys that were flirting with me, you know, like things like that. And then things just tired out and men weren't approaching. So if I would go out with 3 of my girlfriends, how often would you have one guy come up and approach one girl out of the 3 girls?
Right. Right.
And if they did, you know, you end up rejecting them. And a lot of men don't want to go through that. I get it. And then after
And we,
you start,
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
was gonna say, and you said once again, you're saying that, and I'm like, you're right. I don't think women take into consideration that just like we don't want to be rejected, they don't want to be rejected either. Sometimes we feel like, no, they're strong. They're men, right? And many times they go through the same feelings and emotions that we do.
Of
So
course, they
right.
feel,
Yeah.
you know, and they're probably also judging themselves after that, like we would. Oh, is it because I wore this color? Is it because I'm too big? Is it my hair too
Right.
short? I didn't do
Yeah,
my
yeah.
nails.
Yeah.
And they're probably critiquing themselves as well. Like, and you're young, you're not thinking that way. No one's thinking that way. You know what I
Right.
mean? No one's really gonna sit there and try to be sensitive about it's. You have to be very brave to come up to and approach somebody
You are
and
right.
hopefully, right, say the right things and then get a phone number and then continue that chemistry. I mean, it's a lot of work. It's not easy. But when you're young, you don't know that. When you're older and you've gone out on so many bad dates and you're sort of kind of feeling discouraged, you're like, something got to change. And it's something that you've been doing for years, right? So you've been sitting at a bar for years hoping someone was going to approach you and it's not working. What can you do differently?
Hmm.
And
That's real.
working in a field with just women,
Yeah.
you know, how often do you get so lucky to have one male out of a whole bunch of women find that comfortability and chemistry, you know?
Perfect segue. How did you meet Luigi?
How did we meet?
Yes.
So my husband Luigi, and just so everyone knows, Miss Jones loves love, and that's what I
Yes.
love about Miss Jones.
I do.
So I'll introduce myself. I was a kindergarten teacher. It was my first year in a public school, and my husband happens to be the fireman of the building, which is a custodian.
Mhm.
And it's so weird because, you know, I had a strong back history of being in a relationship for 9 years and then being single for 6 years.
Wow.
So,
Mhm.
you know, there was a huge gap of me
Yeah.
being alone and enjoying that, me going out and having failed dates, just dates,
Yeah.
or meeting people where there was nothing in common, and all types of different type of people. So when I saw him, something in my head, and I don't know why, and I had a simple glimpse of him, and I said, I'm gonna marry him. I don't know
And
why I
this
said
is
that.
before you even started talking, like he was
Yep.
just a, how you doing, bye?
He was just
Ever-
literally just walking, and I'll
Oh.
never forget. He was just walking down, and he was wearing gray sweatpants. Yep, I remember the whole thing.
Right.
And he was walking the opposite side. Later that day, my girlfriend, she introduced me to him, and then that was it. And that was it. And I went on more dates and they were terrible. But for some reason, my brother, who was like the biggest cheerleader of this whole story, he kept asking me if there were any teachers in the building that maybe, yeah. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna date anyone in the building because if this doesn't work out, I have to work with them, do any of that. At the time, I was piloting a project-based learning program for the kindergarten, and we had to do a lot of. My team had to do a lot of like hanging things up, and the DOE, they don't allow that, and that's a big fire hazard. And he's a fireman in the building, so he has to come and tell me what I can and cannot have. He was kind enough to actually hang all my stuff, which is like. So, and then I want to say about every other day, he would come by my door and remind me to smile. And there was chemistry. He was coming by all the time. He was engaging in my conversation. I would stay after school late, and he happened to stay and have, interesting conversations with me. So I felt it. I felt that he was interested, but there was also something restricting him back, which were probably all the rumors as a lesbian or whatever it was.
Or just being at a place you guys worked at together, right?
Well, funny you say that. Yeah. So that was also one of the things that I'll come across. So I was on the phone with my brother, and my brother said, "What's going on? Are you gonna talk to him or whatever it was?" And I said, "You know what? I have 7th period prep. I'll never forget this."
Right.
And I told my brother that I'm gonna ask him if he could hang some rope in my classroom so I could hang up posters, charts. So I came up to him and I said, "Listen, my kids have gym 7th period. If you could come and hang up some rope so I could hang up posters." And he did everything that he's not supposed to do. You're not supposed to have rope. You're not supposed to have posters hanging.
Right.
He did it, but all the other classrooms already had it. So he wasn't really favoring me.
Right.
Maybe he was, I don't know. So he came in my classroom and he was like 15 minutes late. And I'm like, excuse me, I only have like 45 minutes to my prep. Oh, really? So he came in and he had a drill, and Jones, a man with a drill does something to me. At least my man with a drill does something to me.
Right.
So he starts drilling these walls, and I'm like, we've been flirting for at least.
And that's the thing I was just about to ask you that, were you already like flirting or, right, you said there was chemistry, but what kind of flirting was it? What?
Very playful. The flirting had been going on for at least 2 or 3 months at this point, or maybe even longer. And it was every day. And don't forget, you're in a building 5 days a week, 8 to like 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of each other. And we try to be very like quiet and not make it seem like we were like over each other. So, just helping me staple things and, cracking jokes and very playful. And it was really cute, and corny, super corny. I love corny. So bad jokes, like things like that. That's my thing. So anyways, he kind of started drilling walls, and I'm like, oh my God, in my head, I'm like, he is not even going to budge to ask me out. Like, are you kidding me? We're in room privately. No one's here. And for real, I just said, you know what? Screw it. So I said to him, can I please get your phone? And he said, sure. And my heart is racing, and I never in my life would ever do that.
Do you know at this point, do you know if
he was
single? How do you know he's not dating anyone, right?
There's this kindness in his eyes where I just knew that for some reason, I didn't know. You didn't honestly, know. I didn't know, but there's something told me that he had to be. Why is he always coming around? And why is he always cracking jokes? And why is he always, doing things for me? So, and the kindness that I felt or saw,
I hear you.
Sometimes your body naturally or innate tells you that, it just speaks to you. I don't know. I didn't know if he was, and maybe I was overstepping a lot. Actually, I was overstepping. I asked to take his phone, and I put my phone number in his phone, and I said, here, I did the hard part. Now all you have to do is call me.
I just like that line. I did the hard part.
I did the hard part because
What did his face look
that's the
like?
hardest part of the whole thing.
What did his face look like? What did he
Because
say?
it was such a short period, because he came late. Because
Yeah.
it was such a short period, he said thank you politely, right? And he left. After we became a couple, he told me that he went into the custodian room and he told his coworker
Yeah.
that, because we're labeled as numbers, he says room 115. Wait, did he tell him? No, he did. Oh, we kept it a secret. I'm sorry. We kept it a secret. He didn't tell anyone but his close friend that
Yeah.
was in the building. And he says, I can't believe she gave me her number. And then he just texted me and we went.
Same day?
I don't think so. It wasn't the same day, but he texted me and we were texting each other for another couple of like 4 or 5 months, I want to say. And then he helped me with the humanities unit.
Mhm.
And I bought him a bottle of wine. And I'm like, I can't believe this guy hasn't even asked me out. I gave him my freaking number and everything. And I gave him a bottle of wine as a thank you. And he finally took a picture of the bottle of wine and he said, it takes 2 to drink this bottle.
I love that.
Finally, he asked me, and that was it. We finally went out. And to answer your question about the whole weirdness about dating someone in a building,
Yeah.
we went out. We had a phenomenal first date and I panicked. Can you imagine? I got what I wanted and I panicked.
Yeah. Why did you panic? Where did you guys go, first of all?
And this is why he's so sweet. I picked a Peruvian restaurant in Park Slope. It's called Surfish. I had no clue that he hates fish. No clue.
Right.
And he said, sure, I'll meet you there. And like, even with the title, Surfish, like.
Right, exactly.
He didn't say anything.
He said, I like this girl.
So like that, all those clues really like help. But not that I knew he didn't like fish. He told me when we got to the restaurant after he ordered his steak that he doesn't like fish. But those little details, you're like,
yeah.
Oh, wait, you like steak, but we're here and you knew we were coming here. Like that was really sweet.
Yeah, that was sweet. Yeah.
Our first date was phenomenal. I panicked because I've been on so many bad dates that I didn't even know how to act when a good date came along. And because I panicked and he was so different from any type of person I've ever dated in my entire life, I tried to convince myself hard enough that I wasn't interested. And the next day, I text him and I said, last night was an amazing time. It was so nice to get to know you, but I think it's best if we just stay as friends. And he shot his shot. I try to break the whole thing off and he finally came out and shot his shot and he said, I don't think so. He says, I think we're going to be great together. I'll keep trying. I said, oh, okay. So he built a lot of confidence. This man.
This is 5 months. You talking about something, you think we should stay friends after 5 months and you guys have built a relationship, flirting and trying to get to know each other?
It's so different. It was 5 months.
Yeah.
I think also the environment I was in. It was just eye candy. It was entertaining. I wasn't going out. I was so swamped at work that 5 months didn't feel like 5 months. You know what I mean? Like, it was just like, I was leaving work at 6 p.m. and then I was going to do my other job. Like, it was just busy, not realizing that time is flying. I had no real time for him, to be honest, anyway.
Now, my question is, when you said that, did you mean it? Or were you looking, because I'm going to read into it. Were you looking for something? Did you want him to say, he's not here, so you can tell me. Did you want him to say, not what he said, like, nah, we gonna make this work? Because I'm like, yeah. In my head, I'm like, 5 months and y'all, he likes you, you like him at this point, and it's like, let's just be friends? Did you want him to like make the effort? Did you need something at that point? You wanted to see something?
Honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. The thing about women, and I'm gonna speak for myself because I don't know, we have this image in our head, and that image is something that messes with reality. it's this picture we've created, right? So like, I've never dated someone like him. He's a very simple guy, sweatpants, very simple, needs nothing to please. Like, he's a very easygoing person.
Right.
I've never dated anything like that before. And for me, it was an issue because I dated someone who, you know, was really into their look. Not that he's not into his look, he has his look, but it's
Yeah.
just not the image that I've created in my head.
Yeah.
You know, I've dated someone for 9 years and I've dressed him, you know, I've pushed, turned a boy into a
Right.
man. And this is a man already, and I don't want to do that work anymore. So the first thing I'm thinking, because I'm so used to my old ways, is, oh, I got to change this style. Oh, I got to do that. And so I start making a list and I'm like, no, it's too much work. I'm too old and I'm tired. And that image that you build in your head is what's stopping a lot of people from getting what's there, the good stuff that's there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I was doing that. I was tunnel vision, and I'm like, nope, he's too simple. Don't
That's
like
no, I can't let you go by without. That's a word, right? Honestly, that's a word. That's a word, because we have this, some people have not let go of, you know, when you're younger and you're a teenager or you're a younger adult, maybe early 20s, you have this like, he got to have this, and this. And if you don't have it, bye-bye.
Yeah.
And it's like, when you get older, don't get me wrong, some people might say, well, I'm getting older. Some people settle, but whatever. No,
I was gonna say, it's not a settle.
No.
I didn't settle.
No.
I want treasure. This is my gem. Like,
yes.
And you know how I feel about my husband. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
I didn't settle. I retrained my thinking process.
Yes. So you adjusted your mindset about dating and what you need, what you want, right? And I think honestly that comes with maturity. That comes with getting older sometimes.
Exactly.
And realizing what's important. Like, I really don't need that. Like, or I can really do without that, or whatever it is. So no, I'm definitely not saying that. Sorry.
No, you're absolutely, Jones, you're hitting it right on the nose. Like, it's what I need. What I need is your romance. What I need is your support. What I need is, you know, that emotion that you give me. The butterflies that I'm still getting after 5. My date nights are planned for me. You know, like, that's what I need. Your tight jeans or your slacks and that's a want. And I don't really, even like today, and on my for our wedding, I bought him a wooden engraved box. And
first of all, guys, Mullaev is amazing when it comes to gifts. Like, she got me stepping up my gift game. Like, what happened? Very thoughtful. It's very thoughtful. Very thoughtful. Yeah.
On the thank you, Ms. Jones. On the wooden box, it mentions his gray sweatpants, because I no longer care about that, you know, that look. If my husband decides to wear something tighter, I'm gonna be like, are you feeling okay?
Right. Are you okay?
And Lori, I wouldn't want to date Lori 10 years ago. I wouldn't want to date
you. I hear you. I've said that. Yeah, that I was saying the other day. I was like, 25-year-old Jessica, the mindset is definitely different. Yeah, and right. This is so good. No, so I'm excited because I don't know what's going to happen in the future. Like, I don't know what's going to happen in the future. But I think the way you shot your shot was very tasteful and classy. Like, because there is aggressive shooting your shot. Like, so you want to go out with me? Like, I don't know. That seems different for me. I don't know. It seems different than you saying, give me your phone.
Because, like, look, in my mind, the way I asked for it was, are we still doing this? Can we just get each other's numbers at this point? Like, why are we still playing games? I wasn't And if he would have said that he had a girlfriend, I'm like, well, she's lucky. And I would have been proud and I would have left. I wouldn't use that against him. I wouldn't treat him any different. And I would have also apologized because I'm overstepping like that. But sometimes you just gotta be you know how sometimes girls can get, why are you honking at me? And really, why are you honking? Like we could be very angry or aggressive about the way people are approaching you.
You know what's funny? You said that, so we probably off topic a little bit, but no. When I was younger, I remember I was telling someone the other day, I was like, I've learned and I've learned this a while ago, but just to say hi, thank you, how are you too? Because back in the day, and I think it's the way we were approached that made us kind of like that back in the day. It's like, you don't say anything. And my friends and I, one time we got bottles thrown at us and we were called bees because we didn't return, respond the way that they wanted to respond. No, but it was already, it's like, hey, shorty, like something like that. And you don't want to say anything. And then we would look at it like being very mean or whatever, right? But as I got older, I was like, it's okay to say hello. Or, I'm good, how are you? Thank you. They might not even like that. But, I find that most men, they appreciate that. They might want to go further, but they do appreciate, just the like, hi, I'm good, how are you? So.
I agree, Jones. I feel like Lori, a couple of good years ago, I'd have been pissed off. I'm like, oh, you take it and you talking to me, but Lori now would have been like, well, she's really lucky. She got a really lucky one. And then I would just done my thing. You just, I think the way I retrained myself was to understand that men have feelings too.
Yes.
And
I like that.
I'm not sure why I figured, or really put my thinking process that way, because I'm just trying to think that if I were a guy and I had to approach a girl and I was getting shot every time, it's not a really fun feeling. So somehow it's not a bad thing. I got really, really lucky. Yeah. And that's because I took the chance that I took. And then he pursued it even more after I'm about But the whole moral of the story is I made him understand that I'm not taken, so it's okay. This is a friendly zone. I'm not going to come at you and be like, don't talk to me. Like sometimes men don't know that. Like they don't know if you're taken or not taken, if you're ready to yell at them or like there's no clarity. And so you just got to make it a little more clear for them to feel more comfortable to either approach you or you approach them. It's all about comfortability, I think.
Right. Totally. I like that. What will I name this video? It's so good. My cousin said, what did she say? She said that she's never been afraid to shoot her shot. If she gets rejected, she gets rejected. She actually said they're lost. That's like, that's a cool way to look at it. You know what you bring and you know who you are and what you bring to the table. If they don't want, and that's fine. That's fine. You're not there. You're not for them and they're not for you, right? But I don't know why. I feel like as I get older, I get a little bit more braver, and that's a word, right? Braver? More brave. Look, I'm a little bit more open to that whole shooting your shot on a certain level.
On that note, I'm going to say that even old Disney had changed Prince Charming and Cinderella into a new version of Disney where there's all different kinds of morals of love and stuff like that. I think we're fixated on the past. And I feel like we have to somehow kind of try new things. And things that make you comfortable enough to try. But that been there and done that hasn't been working. So what can I do differently?
So true.
Don't be scared. And for all the women out there who might disagree, that's okay. But I just want you to know this one change changed my whole life. So it's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's uncomfortable, but it could be worth it at the end.
Yeah, and Mullaev, guys, she loves her husband. Her husband loves her. What I love about them is they have date nights every Friday. Is every Friday,
Every
right?
Friday.
Her husband is very considerate. She's very considerate of her husband, and it's admirable. Honestly, it is.
It's
So,
that.
thank you so much,
No,
girl.
this was
I
awesome. Good
appreciate
luck
it.
to everyone who's gonna try this shoot the shot thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. We shall see. We
I want
shall
to hear
see.
all about it too, really.
We shall see.